Well. Here we are. Week number 5. We've gone all through March and we're finally here. It's championship week. My name is Taylor Moss. I'm going to be one of the lucky few kind of walking you through the matchups tonight, but I also am joined by my good friend, the one they call 5x5, Chris Jones. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited for this. It's been all of March. We've been making our way to this night. So let's go.
Right? Like, we took what we did last year and we just, doubled it and
Yeah.
tried to jam it in the same 1 month time frame.
What are we going to do when there's only 4 Thursdays in March, coming up in other years?
I have no idea. Just do this thing all year long.
Maybe.
No, I don't. It's gonna be tough. We'll have to figure out what to do. But this year it was fun.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you've missed out, I don't know how you've missed out. It's been a ton of fun thus far. But we've been doing a 16-person heads up, no limit hold'em bracket, 1v1 winner advancing, and we're now down to the final matchup, which they've played so much to get to this point. We're going to do a best 2 out of 3. But it's one more matchup that's left. Could be as much as 3 games. One more matchup left. And it's been a journey to get here. Myself, I competed. Chris competed. I didn't do as well as Chris. Chris, we saw the unfortunate events last week. At least people have had enough time to process my loss, and it doesn't seem as fresh. So that's all I can say about me losing in the first round. But we tried. But the thing is, what we have here, what we have going on right here, the championship matchup from last year. It was me versus you. So we had to get in the people with experience because there's only ever been 2 people that have played in the championships of MaREC Madness so far.
Yeah, and I'm bummed to be commentating at the same time I'm excited to be commentating. I was hoping to make my way back, but we've got 2 really worthy opponents facing off tonight, and I mean they both have had tough paths to get here. They've gone through some really good players and some luck boxes, but they still it was a tough road to get here, and both of them deserve it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's the tough part about this. Heads up poker is something that no matter how good you are or how bad you are, you always have a chance, or you don't have your opponent dominated all that much. You could put me up against Negreanu, Ivy, all the other poker greats. And I'm gonna win every so often. Yeah. And you can't say that about basketball. Put me 1-on-1 versus LeBron, and sorry, I'm not getting anywhere close to the rim. And he's gonna win in a way, just destroy me. So it's the beauty of poker. But we've seen some really close matchups. We've seen some really good competition. Not much has come down to what I would call someone just kind of lucking their way into it. No. Everyone's played really well. We've seen some really good decisions. Obviously, luck is a part of it because, you get in, pocket aces versus pocket kings. You can't avoid that type of stuff. So we can see, stuff like that happen. But it's been some really good competition. And I'm really excited for this championship matchup. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've really enjoyed watching all of these too is that I don't think we've really had a match where there was that pocket aces versus pocket kings. I mean, people have gotten lucky and there've been spots like that, but it's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of people sort of inching their way towards that advantage, and then that changes the dynamic, and then there's some back and forth there. But there haven't been, as that I can recall, that one big hand that's just well, of course this is getting all in, and of course somebody's going to win it, right? It's been a little bit more feeling each other out, a little back and forth, and that I like to see that.
Yeah, there have been big hands, nonetheless. I mean, was it? I think it was last week we saw a straight versus turn 2 pair or something like that, and that's like, ah, man, you can't avoid those.
Yeah.
So you do see those come through, but it hasn't been like an auto, like, you know, they're both going all in pre and someone has just got like really bad equity. It's been more so how the cards have run out after that in that battle, which I think is kind of what you're talking to, and what does feel a little bit better when you are having that like boxing match back and forth, and it's not just someone one haymaker and it's over. So it's been good. We've seen some really long matches too. Like the very first week we did this, I think we had one match go out over an hour long in terms of the heads up. I think it was something like 120-ish hands or something absolutely ridiculous like that. We've seen some shorter ones, but not even like all that short. I think our shortest matches have been like 15-ish minutes or so. So there's been a good amount of battle.
My matchup with Mark Prashant, I was wondering if we were going to go one hand because we got it all. Right, I shoved all in on mine. I was like, this might be the shortest one in MaREC history.
It would be one hand.
He made a good fold.
Yeah. So as we get into this championship matchup, what are your thoughts? How do you think these people are going to play this out? Because it's not just something new. This is, I always talk about like tournament poker, and like tournament poker, people get like more attached to their tournament life the later it goes on because they've been playing this long. And part of it is just due to like tournament stage and like ICM and that type of stuff. But I feel like there's also this like urge to like not want to gamble when you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Are we going to see something like that? Because we've had these players play and win 3 matchups to this point. To recklessly go out in the 4th matchup would be devastating, I would think. Like, do you think we're going to see a little bit more of conservative type play?
So the interesting thing, that the question there, I think, is really, you've got the championship level. That's gonna raise your sort of like, do I really want to take these risks? But the other thing that you've got here is the 2 out of 3 thing, which is different than anything you've had earlier. So could you take your first shot and say, you know what, I'm just gonna push this. I'm gonna take some bigger shots. I'm gonna take some bigger bluffs, because if I lose out on one and I get knocked out, I still have a chance to come back. And so I don't know. I mean, I think you could take either approach, right? Like, I don't want to blow this. I don't want to take any big risks. Or you could say, hey, I got 2 shots at this, so maybe it's worth kind of pushing the edge here, try to get that first win and put me that much closer and put my opponent up back against a wall. So I don't know. I don't know even what the right strategy is there.
Very good point, because when I look back 12 months to when we were battling, I took a spot in our very first matchup that ultimately lost me the first matchup. That had it been a one and done, I don't think I would have. I had bottom pair essentially get counterfeited with 2 better pairs on the board. You had one of those cards to give yourself a full house. But I was like, bottom pair, I'm now counterfeited. What better hand to like be betting up until this point to like turn into a bluff, and kind of just like went with it, and I was wrong, and I went down 1-0 right away. But yeah, I was kind of in that spot. But also, I do remember that like feeling of the first matchup that we had, and I was like, man, I can't go too crazy right away. Still want to like feel each other out. So I think we could see some different subtleties develop in there. I could see some like, back and forth initially, and then do they get aggressive like you're talking about, because they've got that bullet to spare, if you will.
Right.
And then in the second matchup, will they come out fighting? They've done the feeling out, like, is it just going to get aggressive really quick? So it's going to be interesting. I am really excited for it.
Yeah. Indeed.
So I'm going to send us over to the bracket and kind of just give us a look into how did we get here, and how did we get here. So Trond beat myself in the first round. Kim beat Jim. They both advanced to the second round. We had Jacob Kiki beat Rob Washam. Keith, who's one of our finalists tonight, beat Chad McVean in the first round. Chris 5x5 Jones defeated Jack Burke. Website Mark beat Binkley in what I would call one of the more disappointing matchups, because Binkley pulled off the best bluff that we saw in this tournament. Like, if there's a best bluff award, Binkley wins it. He had a
for sure
amazing river bluff.
That was legendary.
It's just unfortunate that he doesn't win the matchup then. So sad. But Mark won fair and square, and he also played really well, so nothing against him. Kelly Stork beat Andrew, and John, the other finalist tonight, beat Tim Misclick Donkey.
Mm-hmm.
So those were all the matchups we did in the first 2 weeks. So we went all the way through those. Then in the third week, we saw Kim defeat Trond, Keith defeat Jacob Kiki, Chris beat Website Mark, and John beat Kelly. To give us our final four, which we played out last week. Jim and I talked through that. We had Keith, Monkey System, defeat Kim, and John Somsky, Poker Geek MN Everywhere, beat Chris Jones. To give us our finalists of John Somsky versus Keith Brandt, Poker Geek MN Everywhere versus Monkey System. So it's going to be exciting, and in the new spirit of things, we didn't do this last year, but we have been doing it all of this year. We got some trash talk videos that went down, and some of them have been absolutely fantastic up until this point. Both competitors, I believe, set the new record for the longest videos that they've created. So we got some content to go through here, but let's head over there. I'm gonna play Keith's first, and let's see what Keith has to say about his finals matchup.
Well, it's come to this. At the beginning of the MaREC Madness 2022 tournament, I called my shot and predicted that I was going to win this tournament. Well, here we are. 3 worthy opponents have been vanquished, and we are down to the final match. And who is our opponent? Poker Geek MN. Now, Poker Geek MN has been playing poker longer than a lot of Wrecking Crew members have even been alive. Very experienced player.
Yep.
And he's one of the core members of Rec Poker. He's an active contributor. And he has done a fantastic job managing the home game. But what does Poker Geek MN stand for? A lot of people think that the MN in Poker Geek MN stands for the land of 10,000 lakes that he hails from.
That's certainly what I thought.
Those of us in the know better than that. We know that the MN stands for Mega Colossal Neutralizer. And he uses it everywhere. The Mega Colossal Neutralizer is more awful and scary even than the Illudium Q36 Explosive Space Modulator. Poker Geek has been terrorizing Rec Poker with his MN everywhere for far too long, holding it high over the heads of our people like a sword of Damocles, ready to strike down at a moment's notice. But Poker Geek MN is going to find out how it's going to feel when he brings his Mega Colossal Hocus Pocus into the field of battle against the aggression, the precision, and the sophistication of a monkey. So take heart, my long-suffering people, for a new day is dawning on Rec Poker Nation as your new champion has arrived.
So good. That's what Keith had to say. Keith has had some really good videos, but
yeah, he really has. Well, I think the video game has been, if there's a judge between poker game and video game, the video game might have even exceeded the poker. It was good this year.
Yeah, I told Jim this last week, but I was really upset that I did not progress further on because I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to create some fun videos.
Yeah, I was ready for this week too, and I just didn't get there. So, but that was a fun one to watch. He's called his shot the whole time. So.
He has, yeah. There's something to say about that. All right, let's go to John Somsky. Let's see what he has to say about his upcoming matchup.
Congratulations, Keith Brandt, also known as Monkey System, on making it to the finals in the 2022 version of MaREC Madness. I want to congratulate you. You've beaten quite a slew of impressive opponents, starting with none other than Chad McVean. And then you went on to KekGeek65, Jacob Kiki, and then Fergie56, Kim Kilroy. But I want you to know there's been a little bit of a trend in my matches. First, it was me against Miss Click Donkey. And of course, the worst player won. That would be me. And then in match number 2, it was me against Kelly. And once again, the worst player won. That would be me. In match number 3, it was me against Chris Jones. And what do you know? The worst player won. That would be me. Now, in the final match, it is Monkey System, Keith Brandt, versus Poker Geek MN, everywhere, John Somsky. And, once again, may the worst player win. That'd be me.
I saw your tweet about this, Chris, about how you you had the that'd be me going through your head and terrorizing you this past week.
Just night sweats, waking up in a cold sweat, hearing that'd be me, that'd be me,
that'd be me. Well, 2 great videos. We also ran a poll on Rec Poker to see who people thought would be the winner tonight. And kind of in a landslide, it was predicted that John Somsky, Poker Geek MN everywhere,
interesting,
would
everywhere.
be the winner.
Well, he is everywhere, so
maybe he's got some fans out there. Maybe he's literally out there everywhere, so he just padded the votes for himself.
Could
like
be.
He's got.
He could probably He probably wrote a program to vote from everywhere in the world or something.
We can't put it past him.
No, we definitely couldn't.
But we will do predictions here as well. I'll get to your prediction shortly, but if you are in the chat and you've been here previous weeks, remember we do a little bit of gambling for you. You can gamble your channel points on who you think is going to be the winner tonight. We'll do one for each matchup, so we're going to do game 1. I'm going to put out a prediction out there, and it's who do you think is going to win? And it's going to be Keith Monkey System or Poker Geek MN everywhere. So you'll have 10 minutes to vote on that, and feel free to gamble if you want to. They're just channel points. They don't really mean a whole lot, or don't. You don't need to. The other thing that we do is we also do a giveaway every week on our Twitch stream. So typically it's, I'm playing in the home game. If you can guess how I finish in the tournament, you win. But we can't do that tonight. So what we've been doing all through MaREC Madness is, can you guess the winning hand? So all you have to do is guess the winning hand of the first matchup tonight, and you'd win one of our prizes. We do 3 prizes: free month of Rec Poker Premium, $10 off a coaching system with any one of our wrecking crew, or if you come back to the stream, we do ACR on demand, so you can get a 50-50 stake in a 1650 on demand on ACR that I'll play, and you get half the winnings for. So a bunch of cool potential there for you, and all you have to do is just put in a guess for the winning hand. And again, we don't care about suited, unsuited, or even the suits of the cards. So I see Stewie's out there already. Stewie's always on top of things.
He wants that ace king. He's not letting somebody jump in ahead of him here. He's getting that.
Right. He wants that ace king. So he's got all combos of ace king. So all you have to do is go out there and put your guess for what you think the winning hand would be.
And
Those are the two different ways you can interact and compete tonight.
Also, so two things about this. We've had some winners. People have actually got this right. So we've had some winners in the past weeks. And Poker Geek is in the chat, and he's predicted Queen Deuce. Now, if you've followed this throughout the weeks, he's been predicting some, like, just the worst hands in poker, like Deuce 7, Deuce 3, Deuce 9. But what do you think it means when he raises his game up to Queen Deuce for the
you haven't been paying attention then, Chris. He's had a method to his madness. He started with Deuce 3, then he went Deuce 4, then Deuce 5, Deuce 6. He's now on Deuce Queen.
Ah, okay. So he's made his way up to... Wow.
Yep.
All right. All right.
So he's made his way up there. That's how he's been guessing things. We've got Babker in the chat guessing Ace 9. PCS is guessing Pocket 5s. I hate to see that. Evil Roy says 8-6. Jasper Jr. is guessing Ace Deuce. Pet Vet does not like that. Mr. Everywhere, Poker Geek MN, is guessing. Captain Wale guessing the King 10. The Jim Reed special that we've dubbed in the past few weeks. Pet Vet getting in there with Ace Queen.
Ace Queen. Yeah.
Good guesses out there.
Here.
Keep them coming in, everyone. But we're getting close to the start of the matchups. So everyone's out there making their predictions on who they think is going to win. But Chris, let's get your input. Who do you have tonight, not just in the first matchup, but to take down MaREC Madness and be the next champion? What's your prediction?
So both of these players would be worthy champions. Saw from their videos, they've outlasted a really tough field. And I've been following your commentary about this, whether you follow sort of that sort of jealous envy and kind of pick against the person who knocked you out, or whether you kind of follow through and sort of like begrudgingly hope that they sort of take it down to sort of avenge your loss. And ultimately, I am going to go with the guy who knocked me out. He pulled in some occult members. He said he had rabbit's feet. He said he's got 4-leaf clovers. Who knows what other lucky charms he's pulled in for tonight. So I'm going with Mr. Poker Geek MN Everywhere as
including the champion.
Yeah, including the champion.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Sorry, 1 second. I got to make sure I talk through this because I've been really torn on what my prediction was going to be. And like you said, you've kind of followed along and seen how I've made my predictions thus far. And it hasn't been, I've never once picked, hey, I think this person's better, so I'm going to go with them. I've been going with different criteria that have kind of fit the bill for that specific matchup. So week 1, I commentated on a week that had 3 people that I had played previously in 3 separate matchups the prior year for MaREC Madness. So I picked them. Worked out decent for me. Week 2, I used spite and anger to make my predictions. I picked Kim to beat Trond, who beat me, and it was right. Last week, for the final 4, I used what I deemed to be the better video to be the criteria. Again, worked out really well. And now this week, I'm going with the story. Because every competition is always looked back to and you have this story. So who's got the better story? And to me, it's totally obvious on who has the better story of who's going to be the MaREC Madness champion this year. And you might be thinking like, hey, each of these people have told their own story. It's not about John. It's not about Keith. It's about me. This is the best story about me. Because what else would be best when you look back on this and go, hey, Taylor went from being the number 1 player the first year that we did MaREC Madness. He went on to win the championship. What better result would it be for him to be flipped on his head and to lose to the person that lost to the person that lost to the person that lost to the person that won the championship? So if you go down that route, that's exactly how it goes. So if John wins tonight, it would be I lost to Trond, who lost to Kim, who lost to Keith, who lost to John, the champion. And no other person can say that. So I'm going with the story. I'm going with the Taylor Moss. I got the last place.
I feel like
the only person that lost to the champion.
I feel like we were in like some National Treasure or Dan Brown novel where we're like going down paths to paths here.
It dawned on me when I was trying to think, because I had a tough time making the prediction. So it all of a sudden came up, and I was like, wait a second, I've lost to the person. Like, no one, like, going down that path has made it do the good thing where it's like you, if John wins, you would have lost to the champion, which is kind of the typical thing to pick. But I'm going the total other way. Give me the bottom spot, if you will.
I love it. Here we go.
So that's what I made to make up my pick. I was hoping we would have some differences between there, but I couldn't stop you from making your pick, and I couldn't change my story once I figured it out. So we're both going with John, but I'm seeing a lot of like
seems
monkey
like it
system.
Almost guarantees Monkey's gonna win, right?
I think
once
so.
Both commentators are saying, that just almost guarantees it.
Yeah, and PCS out there saying you can't beat the luck of the monkey. Walleye says let's go monkey. So there's some fans out there for him.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
We will be getting ready for that game pretty soon here. So any last thoughts before we shift over there, Chris? Or are we kind of almost ready to roll?
I think we're ready to roll. I hope the players are. It really is. I think the format of this is really interesting. I'm so intrigued by the best of three piece of this and how the players, we've seen them play now weeks in a row and how they might adjust to that format, if they will at all. Maybe they won't, but I think that'll be really interesting to watch early on.
Yeah. All right. So let's see if we can get that matchup ready. It looks like they're ready now. So yeah, okay. Let's send this over. Let's make sure I got all my stuff ready to go on the screen. And yeah, there we go.
All right, there we go.
We're off and running, Chris.
Off and running. Here we go.
At least this tournament won't be over on the very first hand. It's my prediction.
We doubt. Like it would be hard to get those two hands, hands in, right?
HRL Westy says in chat, is that Jefferson jersey signed? Oh yes, it is. It is the hand of the stream too, the JJ. The Pocket Jacks is our hand of the Twitch stream for that reason. So yeah,
that is a really good background for sure.
I love it. It's my favorite. But Monkey getting a flush draw.
Yeah,
here.
This is an interesting spot here now that we've reached this point, and I don't know if John will continue with King High on this board.
And he does, and he hits. This could be some fireworks to start us off.
Yeah, it really could.
Yeah, hard to read the people in the reactions tonight. Poker Now and their lack of camera with all the changes that they went through. We don't have the camera of each player anymore, unfortunately. So we're just going to have to imagine. I could tell you John is looking very stoic right in front of his computer. I know that's how he looks. And Monkey System doesn't really show a whole lot either. So I don't think either we're getting too many reads on the... Wow!
This is a huge hand already. So Monkey goes for a pot-sized bet bluff, and John makes the call with second pair there.
Did it go check on the turn?
Yeah.
Wow, I wasn't expecting Keith to go hard and fast off the gate.
This has really opened the gates here because like now, John has a commanding.
There was a
lead
bet on the
here.
turn, says Babker. Okay.
Oh, was there?
Yeah. That's a tough call down for John to make then too, with second pair, because I mean it does look a lot like an ace. But then I'm guessing what went through John's head is, why does he go pot with just an ace?
Yeah.
So then it kind of reduces that part of the range, and it's like, does he have a set? Does he have a missed flush draw? And he had the missed flush draw. But wow. I mean, we talked about this. I was expecting some, feel each other out, see how it's going. But no, boom. Pot size bet on the river, like hand number 3 or whatever it was. Holy smokes.
That's a big spot, too. I don't know if I'm trying to think about there's an ace and a king. It's one where when we go for it, we're really targeting a kind of hand that John has and hoping that we can find a fold.
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't really tell the best story, I don't think, because you're really taking those aces out of your range, which I don't know if there's a bet size then that gets Poker Geek to fold in that spot.
Yeah, there may not be. That might be might be one where we have to give up. But it's an interesting spot.
Mm-hmm. I thought we might see some chips start heading back towards monkey system there when he had the dominated queen.
Yep.
But man, now we talk about stories and how this can all play out too. Like if monkey system comes back and evens this up, or even like goes on to win this matchup, is that not the most demoralizing thing for Poker Geek going into the second matchup then?
It's for sure, right? Like in these heads-up matchups, like when you get this kind of a lead, right, you really want to do your best to maintain it, because the moment that momentum starts, even if it get back to even, you start to feel behind, and the other player feels that momentum going. So it's something you want to try to maintain if you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like if we go into a second matchup, it's almost kind of like a reset button for monkey system. Like say John wins, it's almost like a reset button for monkey, and he's allowed that ability to get back into it. But if monkey comes back and wins it, that's not a reset button for John. Like that's he's getting all the pressure. Like he won a huge hand to start off the one and still lost. Like what more do you want to have happen in your favor? So could be some interesting dynamics in this best 2 out of 3 with how like this one has started off right away.
That was a nice hand for monkey there. Interesting that John takes a 1 big blind bet on the turn, and I was wondering if he was coming up with something big on the river, but he's decided to check it through.
Sometimes the poker now system, like you just make those simple mistakes too. Like you go to bet and you just accidentally hit bet twice and stuff like that. But I mean, the hands are now going in monkey's way. Like
for sure. I mean, when you got 10
probably not getting
and you top this way, this is about as good as you can hope for.
But it's exactly what he needed. He needed that quick switchback, because I think it was like 1,300.
Yeah.
Like he got knocked down to be back up at 2,000 so quickly is really great for him.
Yeah, he's got to feel pretty good about this based on how that started.
Mm-hmm. But blind levels are so short, he still has 50 bigs. So there's still a lot of play left. Neither needs to get too crazy. Speaking of getting crazy, we've seen a ton of we've seen some examples of 2 pairs losing to straights in prior matchups, and
a 5 would be pretty deadly. Well, not anymore.
Now it would be deadly for someone.
Yeah.
It just flipped who it was.
Yeah, exactly.
And even like put the 5 aside, right? Like Poker Geek's got to feel pretty decent about his hand here, right? He still has ace high on a jack 2 low card board. Like we saw Poker Geek call down before. If monkey goes big here again, I could see Poker Geek opting for some hero calls.
Yeah, and he goes
even this.
This is going to be an interesting spot, because I was going to say, I think we're almost going to call this for more than if he went really big. I think John might find a fold, maybe.
But that
Maybe.
half pot just seems like something you can call there.
Yeah.
And look, man,
It's
this
almost-
game is so
yeah.
crazy. It's getting
Yeah.
really close back to even right away.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And that's really good. I mean, when you kind of withstand that, you make that big pot size bet, you're down, you've got a huge disadvantage to start. And to kind of fight your way back, it's got to start to feel good for Monkey.
Mm-hmm. Man, this is, if I put myself in John's shoes, though, to have that huge lead and just watch it dwindle away, you're still ahead. You're still in first place currently, but man, this doesn't feel good. He doesn't have the momentum. He doesn't have the winning hands going his way. We're seeing a lot of passive actions here. I get it from John's side.
Yeah.
Oh, but now... Ooh. And Monkey called really quick there. That was very much like a snap call. And if he leads... like, can John bet again when he gets snap called? I don't think so. Yeah,
I don't think so either.
We're really close to even.
It is interesting to see. I mean, I think what that really suggests with John is he really doesn't have a folding range in terms of open. I mean, if he's going to open 3-8 off, he pretty much is opening everything. And then
which I think is fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's absolutely fine. You can definitely do that heads up, but I think once you do that, then you get into these kind of hands where maybe are you representing some of those earlier, because it went check on the flop there.
Ooh. Monkey 3 bets. John calls with the 9-8 and just flops him essentially dead. Yeah, that looks like a good card for Monkey, but that is the opposite of what he wanted to see. He didn't know it, but he needed to go runner for a bigger straight.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. And he's going to bet into him, and John's just going to smooth call.
This 9 may save.
Yeah, it may slow John down.
Yeah, there's a check.
I don't know if he loves that card.
Oh.
Yeah.
He does check back the river there. That's interesting. I would think he'd still end up going for some value, but regardless, another huge hand.
Yep, and we're right back to where we were from that first dynamic there.
Yeah, it looks like a bad card for John, but like it just opens up potential for chops. And like if Monkey's going bet check, he doesn't have that straight there on the river ever, does he?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, maybe John's worried about the flush because it was the third spade as well. But
still, if it's going bet and then check, it doesn't follow the line of action.
No,
I feel like
I would have gone for some value there. But that can always get you into trouble, because then what do you do if you if they jam on you after that? You're just
that's Chris. Why I would have jammed myself and remove the potential to be jammed on when I put all my chips in the middle.
Fair enough.
These are another one of those like scary spots that they don't know they're in, but it's pair versus pair.
Right.
Ooh,
and Monkey's gonna check raise this spot.
Get some off of there. Like, is he check raising some straight draws there too, or is it just gonna be his pairs? And I think that's kind of what Poker Geek was thinking in that spot, and ultimately realizing like bottom pair can't really hold up to multiple streets of betting, and Monkey's not stopping.
Yeah, if we call that, we really need, there are quite a few cards that can help us improve there. But we really need to hit one to keep continuing, and it's it's a lot to pay to try to hit one of those cards. I'll be curious to see Monkey's approach here with his gut shot. Oh, he's just gonna. Okay, interesting.
It felt I get where you were thinking through there. Like he's got like some equity, but really not the best. And I mean,
Well,
John is really happy to get a fold there. Like
Yeah,
if
for
he would
sure.
see both cards, like he's just really happy to see that.
Yeah.
His ace high to just take it down there.
Well, and seeing how Monkey, I mean, he did it with the king pair, the king 5 on that hand. I was wondering if that queen 8 might also be something that he mixes into that check raising range.
Exactly. That's what PetVet just said in the chat. Like, is that a nice check raise spot? Yeah, it definitely could be. You block their extreme values. You still have outs to give you essentially the nuts. Like, those are the really nice spots to go for check raises.
Right.
And we could see the cards, so we know it
Right.
almost for sure would have worked out.
Right. Well, and it's also like, I think when you're doing it with weak top pairs, like a king 5, it means that I think you have to actually have some of those other kinds of hands in your check raising range. Otherwise,
Oh, for sure.
you're check raising a lot of like weak pairs and not much else. So
Yeah,
well,
and
maybe
like PetVet says, you don't even really have to go that big.
Right.
Like you can throw in those check raises. It doesn't have to be a huge sizing, and you're still going to accomplish everything that you'd want to accomplish with a check raise. So now what's Monkey going to do? He does still have the 2x. Okay. I saw he was kind of getting down in the chips. Like, how is he going to approach those different situations? Because we've seen players shift to limping, players shift to continuing to open to 2x, and players shift to just kind of having like a jamming strategy.
Yeah.
So blinds nice and long for each player. There's still 4 minutes left at this level, so Monkey's still got a decent amount of big blinds for this point in time. If a king pops off here, we could get some craziness to come, but a 3 straight flush board might be tough for either player to go after. And
I was just going to say
flush.
that the king of spades, I don't think it would actually get us anywhere, but it'd be kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, probably not. I mean, Poker Geek's not going to bet here if he didn't bet turn, right? Yeah.
Right.
Well, is it going to be a chop pot, or are we going to see someone take this down? Chop pot.
Yeah.
It would have to be like nothing, and then see like who can take the aggression to push someone off the exact same hand. But
if a 10 or a 5 comes, we might see somebody be able to.
Okay, all right, Chris.
Okay.
Let's see.
So
I'm still
now-
sticking with my chop pot guess.
It's gonna come up to, I think, John will have to take.
Like,
a
does he go
shot
for
here.
a check jam here?
Yeah.
Right? Like a check jam. He just calls. He's got value. I mean, I get
Yeah,
it.
it's tough, and I'm not sure
And it
that's
goes
even
check,
the right
check
approach.
here.
I'm just thinking about the way we
What
could not
it
have
takes
this be
to.
chop. Yeah, right.
Right. As soon as I put out the question there of like, is it going to be a chop pot or not? Yeah. Oh wow.
Does go for a
Leads
bet here.
Small. I think Monkey's still going to call though. What if he jams? This
pretty
hand is
sick.
played out in totally different ways that I wasn't expecting. Come on, Monkey, jam.
He's thinking about it.
Flush board, 4 to a straight. Now he just calls.
Because,
All right, chop
the
it up,
chop
chop it
pot. It was
up.
always going to be a chop pot. That's what we said from the very beginning. We were trying to engineer it somehow.
I
but
know.
Couldn't
I
get
think
it.
we got some action that could have.
Yeah, it was.
made
It was possible. It was possible.
Man, I think that is that the first time in the entire tournament that we've seen the 2 players get dealt the same hand.
Not that I
That
can't
might
remember
be.
it happening
Yeah,
before.
that might have been. Those are always interesting spots to see who ends up winning those. And when it's not like a deuce 7 and then they just open folds, because then that's not fun either.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what action Monkey takes here versus a min open like this. Because I think this is GTO-wise supposed to be like a jam. And it's supposed to be part of that like kind of like a 3-bet bluff jam type of thing that still has equity when called. But just calls, we take it to a flop, and pretty darn good flop for him.
Yeah, definitely. He doesn't love that third diamond, but he's still gonna have to. Yeah, he's gonna have to bet, and John can't do much.
But week 1, when I talked about this with Pet Vet, she was always like, "You can't be worried about the flush monsters.
Right.
Not in heads up. You can't be worried whenever that third." Card of the suit comes out because
I mean you can be worried, you just can't let it. You can't let it stop you.
Exactly, you can't.
I'm always worried.
Sure, as you should be when like on this board your opponent could have 8-9.
Right.
You should at least consider it, or they could have 9-6 for a straight.
Yes.
Look at Monkey System go.
Yeah, boy.
He's fighting his way back into this. Blind levels are so nice and long here too, so like. This could stretch out into a really long matchup. Oh, and he just calls. Gives him a just call when he's got the straight. Ooh, Poker Geek and a snap call.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Monkey System. He's getting back into it. He's just got to avoid those spots.
That's
he's
a
had
really
2 instances. Oh, go ahead.
No, just an interesting smooth call there. It's a kind of spot where I think we have to sometimes raise and sometimes call, especially with a straight that's sort of like really vulnerable. But I like it there, and I think he's got they've had a dynamic where he's seen John take some aggressive lines on rivers, so I like the call there, and then you just have to at that point you've got to call down when they make that river bet, even when the board pairs.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. And I was going to say, we've had a really interesting matchup so far. Essentially, it's been 2 huge hands that Poker Geek has won. And if you take those away, Monkey System has kind of just been dominating this thing.
Yeah.
So really interesting, but it's like those 2 hands have Poker Geek in the lead.
Yeah, and I think Monkey's won more hands. John's won the big hands, and Monkey's never had the lead. So it's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, all those things are true. But I'm loving this. Like this is a really good example of 2 great competitors that have made it to this championship thus far.
Yeah, and he goes pot here. So I've been really interested with Monkey's sizing too. It's been he really mixes it up. He's done these pot size bets in spots like this. He's done some smaller bets, but he's got some really interesting flop sizing.
He's there's a lot of people that I think are afraid. Oh, he's unleashing the half pot size bet.
That's just
wow.
It's just hard. It's blinding her pet's eyes in the chat.
Wrong
right
opponent.
now.
That's who you played last week. But yeah, it doesn't work out for him. That's a tough spot. Like when it comes to 4th diamond on the board and he checks turn and then finally bets river, like he's trying to say like middling diamond.
Right.
But like how credible of a story is it? And
especially when we go pot on the flop. Like that. This
has got fireworks here. We've got Poker Geek taking the ace 5 suited. I think Monkey's gonna call. Like when you're down, you have to take like these spots, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you do. I mean, Ace Jack in a heads up is so strong.
Ooh, it is. That's a huge one for Poker Geek there to turn his ace 5 suited into that kind of that 4-bet bluff, if you will, and gets a fold from Ace Jack. Wow. I saw that with Monkey. I think it was in the second round. He had his opponent way down, and he was turning down some variant spots, waiting until he had a really good hand. I think he fold his stuff like ace 8 or ace 9 or something like that. I'm really surprised he found the fold there with ace jack. Just because Poker Geek's going to take that spot with some hands that you have all right equity versus. You have a ton of chips in the middle already, and you're looking for those, like, not you're looking for high variance spots, but you're looking for opportunities to get back into it. So I was kind of surprised by that.
And now he's down to that like 10 big blind range where he's just he's pretty much shove or fold at this point.
And I think we should see a shove here with the king 8 suited.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Poker Geek, what do we got going on? No, nothing.
He was thinking about it. That wasn't a snap fold.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was a little Hollywood hands. Or what, but
well, he had 2 big blinds in there. It was essentially 10 total, so he had to call 8 to win 20 or so. He's got to have 40-ish equity.
Yeah.
There's some hands that he's got 40% equity versus.
Yeah, with 3-9. Yeah, not many, but he's got some. Yeah, there's some.
Well, maybe we'll see an 8 high flop. Oh, John.
I mean, so if anyone guessed 6-8 in the chat, you're about to win.
It's looking good, yeah. Oh, yeah, and he jams with top pair. Poker Geek hits that call button. Hoping for a chop. We've saw 1 chop already.
Yeah.
Oh, not today.
It does not get there.
Poker Geek taking down match number 1.
Wow. Well played, John. Never gave up the lead, you know, he just had it the whole time there.
Yeah, what a crazy matchup. Let's go in here, let's pay out our predictions. Ooh, a lot of the money was on Monkey System there. I think we kind of saw that with the Twitch chatter going on. There's a lot of let's go monkeys, all that type of stuff. So 8-6.
Even Roy did guess it.
Did he?
Yeah. Wow, what a guess.
Oh my god, he did. Oh, Evil Roy. Whoa.
That's amazing. Like nobody guesses 8-6. It's all like ace king, ace queen, ace jack, ace 10. Nicely done.
I didn't I was like no one guessed it. Like bad memory just like went out of mine. I was like no one's gonna guess it, but yeah, he did. Wow, Evil Roy, well done. Evil Roy, I think you know the drill, but you get one of those prizes. Remember, free month Rec Poker Premium, $10 off a coaching session with a Wrecking Crew member, or if you want to come back to a stream in the future, we'll do a 50-50 of an ACR 1650 on demand. So congratulations, we got a winner, and we also have a winner in our game 1. So John is up 1-0. What do you think, Chris? Last year, the person that won ultimately had lost the first matchup and came back to this.
That was last year. We didn't really talk about last year, do we?
Hey, we talked about last year. We do.
Yes, that's true. Last year, the person who won game 1 did not end up winning game 2 or game 3.
Correct. Yep.
So, as the person who won game 2 and game 3, how did you approach this situation when you're down 1-0?
Yeah, you just gotta put that loss aside and just try and go and play your game as best as you can. Like, don't let the loss get to you. I think kind of what we saw with Monkey within that matchup showed that perseverance.
Yeah.
He had been fighting and trying to keep his way back into it. Essentially, in my mind, he's just got to keep doing that.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, you're totally right, and I think like. And as the person who, after you win one of these, I think you also don't want to get too there's that kind of winner's tilt too. So I think you don't want to get too cocky and too you don't want to go for big spots. You just want to kind of feel it out, fight it out again. You've got 2 shots at this now to win this as John, and you only need one of them to go your way. So I think he's really just got to keep playing his game. Keep just trying to, push Monkey. Monkey's the one who's got all the pressure on him at this point. and it can really snowball for Monkey, right? Like if he has another one of those moments where he starts to like get down a little bit, and then it starts to feel like the whole world's against you, nothing's going right. I already lost the first one, and it just starts to really escalate from there. So if John can just sort of like sit back, let it kind of go, I think that's probably how he'll approach this spot. But I'll be curious to see how Monkey approaches it. He may take a little bit more shots now because he knows he's kind of his back's against the wall.
He's down, right? Like he's got to be the one that forces that comeback. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We do have guesses coming in for this next round. Poker Geek, you can imagine he upped his guess. He shouldn't be allowed to guess because he's playing. So I don't know what's going on there.
Agreed. Fully agreed.
Stewie got in there, got his ace king guess in there because he doesn't want anyone stealing that from him. Babker's guessing ace 10. We got Jasper Jr. saying ace deuce. Evil Roy, after his win with 8-6, is coming back with what's kind of being deemed the Hellmuth now.
Yeah,
Queen 4.
I like it. He's just going for it. He's just going for like the hands that no one else will pick.
Yeah. PCS says 3 deuce.
Okay.
Captain Wale ace 5. Kelly's guessing ace 8. And I think Pet Vet king queen. Stewie, I'm gonna read through like what he's trying to get at with his emojis. I think he's predicting all the matchups with there. He's got a geek, a monkey, and then a geek. I think he's saying
I like it.
Monkey's gonna win this next one, but Poker Geek's gonna be the one that wins game 3 once we get there. But I also had this fun piece of trivia because we were talking about last year. Do you know what the winning hand was last year for MaREC Madness?
You had a set, didn't you? So I think it was pocket 7s or pocket 8s, something like that.
That was a very key defining hand.
Oh, it wasn't the final hand. Okay.
It was not the final hand because there was a time where we both got a pocket pair. I think it was my 9s versus your 8s, and the flop came out 9 high. And
Gotcha.
it was actually not just 9 high. It was like 9, 5, deuce or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, let him have pocket 5s. I was like salivating. I was like, please let me overset him. Like this would be the best thing ever. But that was just a key defining hand, not the actual last hand.
I don't remember. Do you remember?
Yeah, I looked it up. I had to because we've been doing this. But I was surprised because I couldn't remember what it was. The winning hand last year, pocket deuces.
Interesting. And so I had 2 over. Well, I obviously had 2 overs, but like
you did have 2 overs, yes.
Yeah.
No, I what was it? I think you had like ace rag or something like that.
Yeah.
And if you remember, our third matchup went extremely long.
I do remember that.
We battled for over an hour. We were down towards the end, and we barely had any big blinds left. But yep, we'd get it all in. Whoever had the less chips would win, and then we battled back to there, and like it was all over the place. It was an absolute battle. But yeah, the winning hand last year was pocket deuces.
Pocket deuces. All right.
So let's get the prediction going. Who wins the second matchup? I gotta make sure the colors stay the same because everyone that picked Poker Geek MN everywhere got the blue tag in the chat. You can kind of see it when the predictions go. It gives them the number 1 in a blue tag, and then we'll do Keith Monkey System as the red tag in there. So you can go out there and make the predictions just like last time. You have 10 minutes to do so.
Start earning some channel points, man. These things are really valuable.
They're super valuable.
Yeah.
You can redeem it for a lot of cool
you can you can highlight a message. I mean, come on, who doesn't love that?
I mean, while we're on like that kind of trend, I need to like get more into like the channel and stuff, and like you can actually put like cooler things in there, like. I'd like to do something where it's like if you have enough points, like you can like get one of the prizes and stuff like that for the people that are the loyal viewers. Because if you just watch, it just racks up the points slowly over time.
Yeah.
So if you come back and watch, you can even be passively watching and just kind of have those points rack up. So I'd like to add more in there. I also want to get some emotes for all of the subscribers on the channel, because I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be. I think that's the true like cool stuff. And you've got all the right credentials to do that now, right?
Yeah. It's all like, based off of like how many subs and stuff you have. So we don't have like a ton of like emote slots, but there are a few, and you can like get them out there. So,
so we're gonna get like a Pocket Fives one, right? Pocket Five emote.
Maybe we could do something that's like not fives or something like that.
Ugh.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Speaking of subscribing, Taylor Moss just subscribed with Twitch Prime. So thanks, Taylor.
And a reminder, you too can subscribe with Twitch Prime for free if you are a Prime member, and support Rec Poker while you're at it. And
look at Jasper Jr. just subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you, Jasper Jr. or Sadie, as your Twitch name says. But yeah, it's really easy if you have Amazon Prime, which I know a lot of people do. You're going to get my spiel now. So sorry everyone in advance. If you have Twitch Prime, you have Amazon Prime, or if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, even though you don't know it. So if you go to like Amazon.com/gaming or Amazon.com/Twitch or something like that, it's a pretty easy way to just link those accounts. Once you link and have Twitch Prime, you get 1 free subscription a month to any channel that you want. If you use it on our channel, I'd be overjoyed. But it is also, a free subscription. That money goes to the content creators out there. So if you don't use it on me, use it on someone else, because there's a bunch of people out there creating content on Twitch all this time. You're just using, $5 of free money to send their way. We would appreciate it, and a bunch of other people would appreciate it, and all it takes is just a little bit of your time.
Don't let those go to waste, because if you watch content like this, you can see it for free, and you can just support it. You don't have to do anything if you're a Prime member. It's really great, and it really does actually help all the streamers out there keep creating content.
That it does. And then the last thing I'll say, if you want a totally free and totally low maintenance way of supporting the channel, and you have not done so already, below the video, kind of over here in that corner, more towards like below where Chris is, there's gonna be a little heart. Just click the follow. It's free. It lets Twitch know that you like our channel. It's all I could really ask for. So thanks in advance to everyone. Thanks for listening to my spiel. But we went there. We talked about that type of stuff. So
you gotta take a side trip every once in a while.
We did. But we still have game 2.
Yeah, let's get, here we go. Here we go.
They're almost ready to roll here, so let's not get too diverted. But game 1, John Somsky took it down, but to me, it felt like Keith kind of ran the majority of the matchup. Just those big hands went John's way. There's kind of 3 defining moments, I thought. One, that like third hand where John called down with second pair and was correct. The second one, what was it? Did he get a straight versus... What was the second big hand? Now I'm blanking. I got such a bad memory. But anyways, there was another like big hammer to Monkey System.
He had kind of evened it up, and it kind of went back to that big gap.
Back to it.
I think it was a straight. You're right.
And then the third big moment in my mind was when Monkey folded Ace Jack versus John Somsky's 4-bet jam with Ace 5 suited.
Yeah, agreed.
We saw it go the other, like that was essentially what got Kim knocked out.
He could have lost right there too. Makes that call. But
in the final 4, that's what got Kim knocked out. Kim called with Ace Queen there versus an Ace 5 of Keith, and Keith drilled the 5 and went on to win the matchup. So maybe it would have been over there too. So who knows what the run out would have been, but it felt like a good spot for Keith.
It did. Especially, I think, in that game 1 kind of spot. I don't know. I think that it's a really interesting question about whether we lower our variance or take some of those shots. And I think I would argue that especially when we're down in those spots, we might want to take those shots.
And when you've got that extra life too.
Yep.
So, yeah, really interesting spots. But I think they're ready to roll. So let's head over to the match now. And we will see game number 2.
Let's do this. Let's go. Here. I'm excited.
Players in the same spots. And guessing they'll be starting soon here. Maybe I went a little bit. Oh, there we go. All right. Game 2, back at it.
Monkey's not going to probably make much headway in this first, and he does have a folding range with the 8 deuce. So
yet another time where Monkey System has started off trailing in the chip count.
He is now behind.
It's way too early, but worth
we're back to even. So way to fight back, Monkey.
Yeah, we can't overanalyze everything, can we?
Right.
I would have thought we would have seen John bet by now. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I was like, it was a pretty big lag there for a continuation bet spot. And Monkey called. I don't know if I necessarily like the call. I think there's a ton of other hands,
including
much more
every other version of our suited queen deuce that I might like to call with when we get that where like we have no way to hit our flush with our queen deuce, and we're really just drawing to a queen at that point.
Right, because the deuce never does anything.
Right.
There wasn't even really a way to go runner for anything else outside of just trying to hunt down a queen.
We get middle pair as John or as Monkey,
Keith,
and
then
John's got
the gut shot.
The gut shot here, which he does call with.
Mm-hmm. That seems like it could be a bad card, but I don't know if there's a ton of jacks in John's continuing range.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. He might have,
Jack
it's
10.
It's like Jack 10, or it's like 2 pairs, right? It's like Jack 8, Jack 7, some of those kinds of.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, Monkey went for a big bet there and got the fold as to be expected. All right, maybe Monkey's gonna have stuff working in his way. Oh, sorry about my dog. Guess my wife's home. This is good. Well, I was gonna say this is gonna work out really well for Keith to, take an early lead as opposed to the other match. But John does have some emergency backup outs now.
He does, but he does not get there. Well, Monkey really gets there.
House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what size are you betting here, or are you betting? Are you ever considering
I'm betting. He goes small. Interesting. I was gonna say something, I guess, kind of close to this. I was thinking like 200, but it's all about like what are you really trying to get paid off by? Like you block your opponent potentially having a king, which is what you'd really want to try and get value from. The queen came out and really there was no action on there, so it doesn't seem likely. So I think you have to go small in that spot. Unfortunate as it is when you have a full house. But I think you have to go small there and just see if you can get called by ace high, which he did.
Yeah, no, it was nice to get to find that sizing that gets the call there from ace high.
And now Keith has a lead.
Mm-hmm.
And if the last matchup plays off like this, I could see him slowly grow that lead. That's kind of how the last one went. Well, John's got some equity.
Yep. I would be
still ahead.
I think Monkey will continue here, and I think John will be tough to find a fold, I think.
Right, but does he go check raise? He does
Does
not go
not.
check raise. To me, that seems like one of those spots that you can go for the. Well, you just river
See,
it.
but you just
That's
know
what
you're
you
going to
do.
get there. Like, that's all you do.
You just get there.
then, yeah. Well, who cares about raising when you know you're going to get there?
Yeah. Doesn't
all
get
right.
paid, unfortunately.
No.
Monkey makes a good fold there. Even with the ace high, we've seen John call down with ace high.
Yeah.
Most of the times incorrectly, at least so far. But yeah, Monkey didn't even give it a second thought. That was a pretty ugly looking board for just
Yeah, it
ace
was.
high. How did this? Was this a 3-bet? Did I miss something here?
I missed it. I missed it too because there is a lot of chips.
It's 2 something each. Yeah.
It must. I mean, it has to be,
John
right?
just called. Wow. This is a weird hand. Like
And
his John just,
he
John's
continues
gotta
small
fold
again
right?
here.
Yeah. Okay.
So we
Takes
get.
it
I mean, it
down.
must have been a 3-bet pot. I missed it as well. We were chatting, but
Yeah.
then he does two small.
Don't worry,
bets
we
there.
do that a lot. Like we did this with Jim. I constantly was missing hands. We were just talking about a bunch of stuff, and like so
It goes so
happens a lot. That's
fast. It
part-
goes so fast.
I know. Mm-hmm. But like the majority of the time, like it's not like too like crazy of action, so you
Right,
don't need
right.
to like keep drawing it up. But all of a sudden, it's like, oh man, I wasn't constantly paying attention. I missed this 3-bet, and now all of a sudden we're in a 3-bet hand, which is huge. And I don't know where we at with who was the aggressor and what did it look like? What was the sizing and stuff like that? Maybe if they'd pay us more.
That's right. Yeah,
Well-
nice. That'll.
Well, John, you just flop the. What's the opposite of the nut flush? The nut low flush.
The nut. Don't they call it the
bottom
butt flush?
No,
let's
no, no,
go.
no, no.
Let's
no, no,
go.
no. All right, quick! I gotta cut the stream.
Let's
I
go.
gotta cut it. No,
Let's go.
Jack high flop.
Jack 5-5.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. This is it. Heart, heart, heart.
5.
No, 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 no. Heart,
Five.
heart, heart.
5.
Oh, come on,
Five.
give me a heart,
5.
please.
5. Another 5.
Okay. Is John gonna go for a raise? Bottom set is such a attractive hand to go for raises.
I think
with, 'cause you
I think
unblock 'em
I'm
having
raising this all the time.
heart. Oh no! No, Keith.
Go for it, Keith.
Oh, good check. Whew. Oh, whew.
How much are you betting here as John?
Probably a lot. Yeah. Just because if they have like the check either screams I have showdown value or I've got nothing. And if they've got nothing, you're not getting called. But if they have showdown value, like you want to give them tough decisions.
Right. Well,
Because
well
Monkey
played, John.
could have had a Well, I don't know about that. But oh man, like as you were like talking through that, I was like, wait a second, put hearts out there, but the 5 of hearts as well, because he didn't have the 5 of hearts in his hand. And that's exactly what we saw. I just wanted the heart. Because if that heart comes off, Monkey is taking game 2 right there. Like,
Indeed.
it's just going to be over. Well, it seems like all the hands have been going John's way, at
Yes,
least
for
thus
sure.
far. And Monkey still in a really good spot. Like, only down 3 big blinds from even. So, stupid pocket 5s. At least no one guessed it this time.
Yeah. Well, that's because I'm not in the chat. I don't think commentators are allowed to guess, are they?
I wouldn't let you.
Yeah, I didn't think
Just
so.
like I disallowed John from guessing.
These are always tricky spots. When you get the bottom pair, Monkey's going to bet into us.
Mm-hmm. No, he doesn't know, but Monkey needs to continue the betting.
Right. And
And
he does.
Now, John's essentially got to get to a point and go, do I, like, ever just stop and give up?
Right.
He's gone check, call, check, call. I think the third barrel would have worked.
It would have worked, but yeah, that's
But it's so tough to, like, just
barrel
fire
to pull.
that. Because he had, like, no equity there, too. Like, even, like, the previous bets, it was like, you're just hoping for folds, and you're not getting those folds, so... I guess that's how the bottom pair can end up winning a decent sized pot.
Mm-hmm. And that is one thing I learned in my lesson with John. He can be sticky. He can definitely be sticky.
Yeah. That's the tough part about heads up. You have to call down more than you're used to.
Yep.
Well, now we can go running fives. I'm fine with that. John found a fold there. King high, usually pretty decent on those paired boards.
Yep. Yeah, it's because he's found calls with those kinds of hands, so it's a good fold there. He's definitely.
You think he's cheating? No, he's not. For anyone that thinks that might be a case, I'm 100% joking. We've made it foolproof, so neither player can find a way to cheat.
I am confident he is not. He's just.
yeah. It was just a joke. It's just a joke.
Be an
Two
interesting
aces.
one.
Yeah, we could see some action here, especially.
This is
we
the
saw
kind of
John.
hand Yep.
We saw him the 3-bet with those.
But he elects to go the call route here.
Yeah, Gibber says those IT guys. So can we be sure that John doesn't have some way, even like above where we would be? Like to be
above our pay grade.
Just
it's always
like
possible, right? There's always somebody who knows a little bit more than you, at least technology-wise.
Right. Like maybe John went to Poker Now before this and was like, "Hey guys, let me help out. I'll help out for free," and then like backdoored his way in there. I guess.
The only reason I don't think that's true is because he's so good at what he does, and they've just had all these video problems. So
right,
like that
he
makes
wouldn't allow that.
Story doesn't add up there.
Yeah. Okay, we can dismiss that one.
Yeah.
That was kind of a boring ace versus ace hand, though.
Yeah, it really was.
Run out with trips on the board in a way that you know that you're chopping with all the other ace highs and anticlimactic.
Speaking of his programming chops, hats off to him for making our bracket.
The interactive bracket.
Do we know who has a shot at winning that? The predictions part of that?
Unfortunately, I haven't been tracking a lot of those things.
We'll take a look at it when this all wraps up.
Yeah, we could. If this goes to 3, we can go in between there and kind of see some of the brackets and try and eye up some of them. Otherwise, afterwards, if John wins, then it would be over. We could potentially go take a look at. Speaking of big hands,
yeah, this one could get.
I think we've.
Oh,
was it Monkey that was getting aggressive with some of these? Like,
yep. Oh boy.
Now, if an ace comes off, that's just the dagger. Like we know, it's gonna. Oh wow, he bet.
Bet's big.
Did he donk lead in there? Or did he 3-bet and then just get? He 3-bet and got called, right? Yeah, he went 330, got called, and then he went huge. Oh, and John is just in such an easy like call
Yeah.
down spot.
Yeah, this is the danger of doing this. When we three bet, we don't have to always continue with such an aggressive line. I think that
We
sometimes
don't
like
have. Yeah.
it opens the floodgates. Like I three bet this, so now I got to go for
Right.
it, and it can obviously get into some trouble.
And even to bet like that big too, like he should be thinking about like he bet like 80% pot on the flop or something like crazy
Yeah,
like
it was
that. And John
huge.
called.
Yeah.
Like what is John gonna call with there? Like he could call down with like flush draws, but like that's it. Like all of a sudden like he's just praying he's got a flush draw and he doesn't have a pocket pair or a jack in his hand.
Yeah.
And like that's gotta be scary when John hits call and then they go to a turn there.
And then he bets big again on the turn. So it's you're really saying, I know that you have something really good, and I have something exceptionally good, right? You're like you're representing something really strong at that point. And I think we can often take those three bet pots that are like, and we don't have to just barrel with them. It's at least something I'm trying to like figure out the spots where I can, and I like checking on flops after three bets. It's like it's a nice way to like cool things down a little. I can have a really strong hand sometimes still.
Right. I am a huge fan of betting a quarter pot in three bet pots.
Yeah.
It's a really small bet and it's still really threatening.
Yep.
I mean, obviously depending on stack size, but it's super threatening because you've already put a bunch in there. And then it's just kind of like, okay, throw in a little bit more.
Yeah. Yep.
And it makes it really tough.
Yeah,
on
I
your
agree.
opponents.
So,
and
like,
it
I mean,
looks
checks
really
and
strong.
small bets
Yeah.
can really do a lot of the same things that those really big bets can do. So anyway,
It sounds like Evilroy might have had two semifinalists, or these two as semifinalists in his bracket, which may be good, but we'll have to see some of the other brackets. It all depends on what everyone else did, Evilroy. Because last year, the winning brackets, you had to get the winner right and then do well in some of the other matchups to ultimately be the winner there. But this year, with more matchups, it may just take picking the right person as the winner. And I don't think we had the same turnout that we did last year in terms of the bracket predictions. So. Ponyboy says, why aren't you playing at Aces? Well, it's because we have this going on tonight. We have MaREC Madness, the championship. There's always other times to play at Aces.
yeah. They got multi-flights going on for all their stuff. So
Right. This is Twitch Thursday. But I'll probably be there tomorrow, playing day 1B of the Mystery Bounty. Hopefully it goes well. PetVet says, should have had a consolation for the third place prize. I considered it. We considered it last year too, but then we ultimately just played the best 2 out of 3 for this finals and kind of just give all the spotlight for this spot. But I feel like we should be talking about this more because like Monkey System is kind of like on the brink.
he is on the brink
elimination here.
He's got 10
like,
big blinds.
This could be it any time.
John's gonna shove with his jacks. Yeah, I mean, it really came down to that ace-9, ace-jack hand has really put Monkey on the
That
ropes.
was a really unfortunate spot. It's hard to flop a pair. And in heads up, like you get in those spots and you kind of just have to stick with it. And it was a 3-bet pot and they both flop a pair. Just unfortunate. Could we see John call here? I think we could. I wouldn't be surprised to see a fold or a call. We do see the fold. But everyone's kind of in the spot where they made their guess for the winning hand and they're just hoping Poker Geek gets dealt that hand sometime soon, because it could be over almost at any point. But Monkey's not going to go down without a fight. I was going to say, like, Do you ever just start limping as John, especially with like limp traps?
Mm-hmm.
Because King Queen to me is kind of your 10 bigs. I think King Queen is able to be used as like a limp trap, trying to get your opponent to jam worse into you.
Yep.
Because once you jam into them, they kind of act perfectly.
Right.
You know, they probably still call with like King Jack and stuff like that you're hoping for. But otherwise, a lot of worse hands, they just fold. But if you check or limp, and they've got a hand like Jack 10, they may just start jamming that where they may have folded it versus jam.
Yeah, I like when we're in these kind of spots to having a limping range where we're really thinking about it. But from
you're 10 effective.
Both sides of this should be thinking about the spots where they want to do that.
Because if you just go to a jam or fold situation, you just end up jamming too tight of a range. Oh, get that. Get that out of there. Not pocket fives. I looked at Monkey System's hand when you did that. I'm like, he folded. What is Chris cheering for? Then I saw it was the pocket fives. But you just end up jamming too tight of a range if you just do jam or fold.
Yep.
And if you limp, you can start expanding your range a little bit more, giving yourself opportunities. Well, I think Monkey's got a jam here, and I think given Poker Geek put in 2 big blinds, he's going to have to call.
Yeah, I agree.
Is 7-5 going to be the winning hand?
I doubt that got guessed, but it really could be.
Oh, no, 4 outs. Oh, not the greatest of winning hands for one to go down into the record book, but regardless,
wow,
we have just crowned a new champion, Chris.
Poker Geek MN is everywhere.
Everywhere.
He is just everywhere, including your 2022 MaREC champion. Wow.
Congratulations,
nice run.
John.
Nice run.
Well played. The cards worked in his favor, and he played really well throughout it, too. And nothing against Keith. I thought Keith played really well tonight as well. Just the cards didn't go in his favor.
And I'll say one thing also for John. There's no way next year he can claim that he's the worst player, that would be me. I mean, you can't come back as the champ and be like, I'm the worst player.
He's got to get rid of that shtick.
Yeah, for sure. But it worked well for him this season.
All the money in the Twitch prediction stuff was on John in this one. Apparently, people in the chat saw something that said, "Hey, John's gonna just sweep, just take 2."
They liked the momentum. It was a momentum shift from the first to the second match. So man, he sweeps the best of 3, and not well played. Not the worst player, says Pet Fed.
Right.
Hashtag not the worst player.
Not the worst player. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, so I'm looking through some of the brackets that were out there.
Yeah, did anyone pick Poker Geek in their brackets besides Poker Geek? I know the Poker Geek did.
Yeah, that seems like.
Is he gonna win the brackets too? He's gonna win and win the bracket contest.
No. We can't allow that. Trying to just see like who all potentially picked the winners to go far, just to see if we can like narrow it down a bit.
I picked.
Not
Binkley
many
to
people
win,
had
so
picked this
mine
towards.
was dead week 1.
Not many people had. Oh, here's one. Oh, Jim did. Yeah, Jim picked a John versus me championship match, but just John winning would give him a lot of points there. He also had you in the final 4, so that would have been a pretty good bracket. Evil Roy was talking about it. He had 2 final 4 people correct, but he had Chris and Kim winning and going to play in the championship.
That's
probably not going to be enough, but we'll
fictional
we'll
third place matchup.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a lot of people that were. Monkey System picked himself. Okay. Yeah, not a whole lot of people, but if there was a winner, I think Jim probably would have been the winner in the bracket predictions. So.
Wow, Bluffsterini.
Yeah. So there was not a lot of people that picked John or Keith to even be in the championship match. I guess that's what happens when
Chip
there's
on the
16,
shoulder.
16 really good players out there, and you've got a lot to pick from. But both players essentially said, forget your guys' predictions.
Right.
We're going.
Well,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say, like, Taylor, to you, like, what a production. Well done. Thank you for doing this. I think everybody in the chat should thank. I mean, this has been really, so well run. So fun to just see everybody play, get the videos going, get the trash talk going. So well played. It's so fun to see the cards up and be able to see the way people approach these heads up matches. So I just really thanks for pulling this all together. It's been great.
And I'll just throw a bit back at you too. If you remember, this was kind of partially your idea, like a year and 3 months ago. We were talking about it because I think that's when the Negreanu Polk match was going on.
Yeah.
We were talking about heads up, and all of a sudden, like, I don't know what it was, but you said something and it just dawned on me. I was like, why don't we just do this like March Madness does? Like, wouldn't that be cool? So it was kind of just like a little like brainchild that was born through some email discussions that we were having like as a group.
Yeah. And once you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that's the thing that we're doing that. We're doing that for sure.
Yeah. We always are looking for ways to improve. I think we improved a decent amount of things from last year to this year, but it still kept the core kind of fun going on. I think it would have been better if we would have got more interaction with the bracket, but we also kind of did it in a different way than we did previously. So we got stuff to learn there too. But I think the streams and all that stuff that we've done here have gone as well, if not better, than last year. Stuff has run way more smoothly because we learned a lot with all that prior experience and then all the other Twitch stuff that we do. But I'm happy with how everything turned out. It's fun to see this go down. It's really, really cool to kind of see those ideas that you have come to life and kind of come out in such a nice way. So thanks to everyone that participated, because like this wouldn't have been possible if it wouldn't have been for the 16 people that participated. This dedicated their time, went through, played their matchups. 8 of them lost right away, and it feels like I didn't really do anything, but still wouldn't have been possible without any of them. And yeah, just a huge congrats to John winning 4 heads-up matches. For sure. Essentially went 5-0 throughout the entire series. So well played by John. Congratulations.
Not hashtag not the worst player ever or whatever he's been saying.
Right.
One quick question for you. I mean, we're hoping to do this probably next year, right? And just a reminder, people were able to get into this through contests that we ran through the year. They're on the Twitch stream that you do every Thursday. They were able to qualify. We had heads-up matches that John helps organize and run. So stay tuned for those and try to get into the madness next year yourself.
Yeah. So originally the idea was we run 3 qualifiers, if you will, 3 heads-up tournaments. This happened in March, so it's the end of the first quarter of the year. So the end of the second quarter, the end of the third quarter, and the end of the fourth quarter. So June, September, and December. I think they're run on Saturdays. We do a heads-up bracket. Not a whole lot of people show up for them, so it's actually decent odds. I think it's somewhere between like 16 and 32 people that would be in there. So you have to win 4 or 5 heads-up matches versus the rec poker community. That's how Kelly got in, that's how Jack got in, and that's how Trond got in. So we'll be doing that again. There'll be 3 spots in each of those months if you want to go out there and try and compete. !home game in the Twitch chat if you wanted to go there. Otherwise, just go to rec.poker/home game. Find out how to sign up for those, and then those tournaments will be coming up. Like you said, we also do a Twitch giveaway. So like we were talking about the giveaways that we do a long running one where whoever does the best in cumulative of guessing where I finish in the Rec Poker home game every night that we do the stream, it's like a running point total. And Jacob Kiki won his way in there through that. So we had 4 spots. that we awarded for MaREC Madness this year. We'll probably be doing those 4 again. Then we have kind of like 8 people from the Rec Poker core team that we'll probably keep as core invites, which leaves 4 other spots. We filled it with Wrecking Crew members this past year. Potentially we'll do that again. Maybe could twist my arms and say, hey, let's invite the player of the year for the No Limit Hold'em series or the mixed game series to also compete. Kind of win your way in that way. But a lot of potential there. We'll be doing this again next year. I think the 16-person bracket went really well. And even though we don't have a 5-week March coming up, we'll figure out a way to do it.
I saw somebody say first week of February, it's the second week of, I mean, March Madness goes into April, so what you know.
Right. Exactly. So we'll figure something out. Like we can work our way through it. But yeah, no, I think this was great. Thanks to you for helping out in the booth doing commentary. I know this is your second week coming back to that. Jim did 2 weeks of service as well, sitting in the booth with me. We had Miss Click Donkey and Kim Kilroy also as well. So thanks to all of them. Thanks to everyone that competed, all that type of stuff. So couldn't have done this solo. So I needed help from everyone.
Well, yeah, no, thanks to you. Thanks to everyone who tuned in too. It's always fun to see the chat and see people getting excited about some heads up poker. It's a fun way. It's a really fun element of poker. It's a fun style to watch and to kind of observe. So this is great.
Yeah, and if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, we upload these videos to YouTube, so we'll get this one up soon. Sorry about last week's YouTube video where I didn't get the audio on there. That was my bad. I'll take the blame for that. But if you are watching on YouTube, come over to Twitch, check us out there. It's twitch.tv/recpoker. We stream every Thursday. 8 p.m. Central is when we have our home game, and that's when we stream on the channel. Also, we do the Player of the Year series that I talked about, the No Limit Hold'em and Mixed Game Player of the Year series on the first and second Wednesday of the month, and I also stream those as well. So those are the times you can catch me. It's essentially 6 times a month that we be streaming, and we do the giveaways every week. We have put in those guesses. You can get a spot into MaREC Madness. So come on out, join in the chat with me, because I always appreciate that, getting the stuff, some talking going back and forth. But yeah, come on over, check out the Twitch channel. But I think we can call it there. I think we've done a good amount of wrap up. Again, congratulations to John. Congratulations to Keith as well for taking second place. You both played phenomenal. Thanks again, Chris, for joining me in the booth doing the commentary. We had a little bit of shorter matchups, but still was some pretty good play that we saw tonight. So I'm Taylor Moss. Thanks again, Chris, for joining me. For the rest of Rec Poker Nation, thanks everyone for tuning in for MaREC Madness. And we'll see you again next year for MaREC Madness 2023. Thanks again, everyone. Peace out.